Hello and welcome. So this is my week 2 video, my week 2 update on my Learn Spanish mission, and today I want to talk a little bit about how to find the time you need to progress as quickly as possible, how to break up your time and how to use it effectively. So let's get started. So as you can see here, I split up my time into 3 different areas. We've got focus time at the top here, dead time and immersion. Focus time is not too lengthy. It's normally in the morning for me before work. It's short, it's very focused, my phone's in flight mode, I'm free of distractions, and this is whenever I set monthly goals, like you saw in my last video, then this is when I'm aiming to complete them. This is when I'm really concentrating, this is when I'm probably learning the most amount of new words, listening and reading to lots of new content, looking up in the beginner stage is quite intensive, looking up all the words I don't know on LingQ. And this is where I'm learning the majority of my new words. And in a way these 2 other areas supplement this, but they all work together. So dead time, next, is simply all those spare pockets of time you have spread out throughout the day that you're not particularly doing anything. So it could be waiting for the tram, waiting for a bus, on the toilet, waiting for your friends to turn up at a restaurant, all of these things. And you use these small pockets of time, which can only sometimes be 1 minute, 2 minutes throughout the day. If you utilise all of them, they can add up across the whole day to more than half an hour, 40 minutes sometimes. So this is a very good way, if you're very busy especially, of finding lots and lots of useful time that you can otherwise use. So what typically I do in dead time, normally flashcards. When I was learning Cantonese, I spent a lot of time on Anki. Now I'm using LingQ. Typically, I'm using the flashcards built into the LingQ system. So when you create a link and save a word or phrase, you can review the flashcards. You can review flashcards specifically for the lesson you select. So say in my focus time I'm studying chapter 5. Well, in my dead time, I review flashcards for all the new words and phrases in chapter 5. Other things you could try is Duolingo, memorize, anything like that. Just anything that's easy and not too mentally straining. And the third one, immersion. I think immersion as well I can split up into a few more subcategories, and I'll make a separate video on immersion entirely in the coming weeks. But for the purpose of this video, basically immersion is anything that's in the target language, in my case Spanish, and is fun, and or listening if I'm walking about, walking to work, or just washing up dishes, anything like that. Then I can listen to audio while I'm doing those things. It can either be something like an audiobook, or most of the time, especially in the beginner stages, it's listening to the audio from my focus time just on loop. All of these 3 things supplement each other quite well. Focus time is where you learn most of your new words and phrases. Keeps you making progress, shoot towards your goals, and this is where I really feel the main sense of achievement. Dead time, I can review words and phrases from my focus time at short pockets just to keep contact throughout the day. Immersion keeps it fun, keeps it interesting. I do whatever I want. I can get the audio repetition in from what I was studying earlier, and also even if I'm watching TV or something like that, then a lot of the new words and phrases from my focus time show up in my immersion, and as well I see more words and phrases that pop out to me, and if I see them in this, then I'm more likely to pick them up easier in my focus time and so on. So you can see how these 3 all kind of help each other in different ways. What I'm going to do now is break down exactly what I do on a typical work day. This isn't set in stone, this is just a general idea of what a typical day might look like, so you can take what you want from it and apply it to your day. And obviously not all of what I do is going to be applicable, because we all have different routines. The first thing is I get up at 6:30 AM every day, and between 6:30 and 6:45 AM, as soon as I wake up, headphones in. Say if I'm learning, I choose what lesson I'm learning the day before, so it's say if I'm learning lesson 10 today, wake up, dialogue on for lesson 10, headphones in, put it on loop. I go downstairs and eat my breakfast while listening to the audio, and that's a total of about 15 minutes. Once I've done that and I've eaten my breakfast, I then have focus time, listening and reading, and I'll make another video specifically about focus time in the future because I think this is quite important. For the purpose of this video I use LingQ. It's a lot of repetition, listening and reading, looking up all the words I don't know and really concentrating and trying to understand as much as I possibly can. Typically about 7:30, 7:50 I'd shower, get ready for work, brush my teeth, get changed, stuff like that. 5 minutes from my house to the tram stop-ish. Again, headphones in, audio on loop, listening. While I'm waiting for the tram, it's normally arrive about 5 minutes before the tram gets there. I'd sit down, and on LingQ, you can, as I said before, you can review your flashcards for that specific lesson. Say it's lesson 10. I review my flashcards for lesson 10 while waiting for the tram, about 5 minutes time. Again, while on the tram, this is similar to my focus time before, more listening and reading. After I get off the tram, this is about 8:30-ish normally now, I again put I'm going to be walking to work next, so headphones in, audio on loop, walk to work, listening immersion, another 20 minutes. Typically now, while I'm eating lunch, I normally like to listen to something while I'm eating lunch, just something. This isn't really concentrating, I'm mostly just focusing on eating, it's just something in the background while I eat. So I'm using Spanish Uncovered, and they come with a bunch of videos with each lesson. I ignore most of them, but the grammar one I find useful. And what I'm doing here, I'm not trying to learn anything, I'm not going to memorize anything, I'm not going to pick up any grammar particularly. It's just putting it on the map. And so when I go back to my listening and reading, the stuff they put in up earlier, I might notice verb endings they were talking about before, and then the repetition and immersion is going to reinforce this, and eventually over time it's going to stick and become normal. So after work, finish work about 5ish, normally sometimes later, but normally it's about 5. Again, walk to the tram stop, headphones in, audio on loop, listening 20 minutes. Get to the tram stop, wait for the tram, typically 5 minutes, flashcards, back on the tram, another half an hour, back home, focus time, 5 minutes walking from the tram stop back home, and then typically as well, throughout the day, I have 5 minutes here and there, usually on the toilet, just something like that, or just waiting for someone, sitting on the toilet, doing whatever that. And in this time I typically say just do flashcards on Anki or LingQ. And then after work I want to relax and unwind. I'm going to, if I go to watch TV or if I go to play a video game or go to watch YouTube videos, I'm going to do that in Spanish, because the more exposure you can get, the better and the quicker you can learn. So all of this adds up quite quickly. If you look in all of across the day, I don't think the only focus time that I actually dedicated to learning was 45 minutes in the morning, and then the rest of it was a mixture between commute time, dead time, and just general doing stuff that I like, that's fun, like watching TV and video games. And it really adds up throughout the day. So including commute time, the focus time is about 105 minutes, dead time for flashcards about half an hour, grammar 20 minutes, listening, immersion brackets listening, this is when I'm walking to and from different places, 65 minutes, and immersion active 120 minutes. Out of all the variables here, this is the one that I'd probably change the most. Sometimes I go out for dinner in the night time and this would only be like 20 minutes, but if I've got nothing particularly on, this is about what you can expect. So total time 340 minutes, 5 hours and 40 minutes, and you can really see how all of these things reinforce each other, and you can pick up a lot of time quite easily throughout the day. And there's just one other thing I wanted to highlight quickly, because most people put the emphasis, especially in school and otherwise, they can put big emphasis on grammar, and if you do nothing but learn rules, you're never going to get anywhere. You're going to be stuck in your head, you're going to be translating, you're going to be trying to think of the verb conjugation. It's just going to be absolutely crippling. So I think a little bit of grammar can be useful, but it's only to make you notice more when you're listening and reading. So here you can see total input 320 minutes, total grammar 20 minutes. So as a percentage, the time I'm spending on grammar is just under 6%, and it's not even focus time. So this just gives you an idea of the general day that I would have, and this is how you can really use the three ideas I talked about earlier, focus, dead time and immersion, to really complement each other and make the most time, find time that you didn't think you would have otherwise, and really make great progress. I'm going to post my example schedule in the description so you can have a look, you can read through slowly at your own time and look what you might implement into your lives. And in future videos I'm going to talk more specifically about focus time and about how to get immersion, because I think especially as a beginner Immersion can be very hard to do right, and if you don't do it right, you're going to be bored and you're just going to stop and revert to watching stuff in English. So, thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.